Hey guys, my name is Maulik, and today I'm going to be talking to you about climate change. Climate change is not a provincial or international issue. It's a worldwide issue that affects everyone. But to keep things short and simple, I will only be discussing climate change in Brampton. So, what is climate change? Climate change is a difference in the Earth's global or regional patterns that is caused by carbon dioxide produced by the use of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are a very harmful source of energy. Climate change can have both positive and negative effects. For example, this summer in my community in Brampton, Ontario, we've had such warm weather that the temperature nearly rose to 40 degrees Celsius. This is good because it gives farmers a longer growing season, which means more food for all of us. But this can also have negative effects. For example, last winter, instead of having a white Christmas with a lot of fluffy snow, we've had temperatures remaining in double digits. Furthermore, warmer temperatures lasting a longer time results in ice melting at a much faster rate, which would increase our sea level, which is dangerous because it can cause flooding, but Ontario is taking action on this issue. They are providing businesses with incentives and tools to encourage the use of clean energy. This will help end the era of using coal for electricity or energy generation. But that's not all. Now I'm going to speak with someone from the region of Peel to see what else the region of Peel is doing to fight climate change.
My name's Jeremy Shembry. I'm the manager of climate change and energy management at the region of Peel.
So, what is the region of Peel doing to fight against climate change?
Okay. So we have a number of energy projects at the region. So our focus currently, if we're looking at it from an energy management perspective, our focus is on energy conservation, and then load management, and then generation projects. So we have different scales of different types of projects throughout the region. I don't know how familiar you are with the different sources of energy, the emissions that associate with them. So the grid in Ontario has gotten quite cleaner since we've closed down the coal plants. So the region does try to reduce its electricity use, but we're finding now to put a little bit more emphasis on natural gas, because that's where we're finding the biggest return from a greenhouse gas perspective. So what we're looking at is really looking at opportunities where we can recover wasted heat off of equipment or even generation and use that wasted heat rather than purchasing natural gas. So that has a cost savings for the region, but it also allows us to have I'd say significant reductions in greenhouse gas emissions in certain processes and applications. So that would be one example. An example of that actually is we just put in a cogenerator. Are you familiar with cogen?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with cogen?
No. Would you please mind explaining that?
Yep. So a cogenerator, it is a generator that generates electricity,
Okay.
and then the heat that comes off when you create electricity, there is wasted heat. So we are able to recover that heat and then use it into our boilers. So to not have to use natural gas to heat the boilers, we can just use the heat that was wasted off the would have been wasted off the generator. What makes our project actually really interesting in the case of the cogen project that we're doing down at our wastewater plant is that throughout the wastewater process, we have anaerobic digesters that capture the methane off the wastewater treatment, and then we use that gas to power our cogenerators, which makes it even better because we're using renewable natural gas in that sense rather than natural gas from the Enbridge stream.
What can we, the citizens of Region of Peel, do to help support this?
Oh, well, there's a number of things, I guess, that citizens of the region of Peel can do, I guess, in their personal lives. Like there's, I guess, right from the start of how you use energy in your home through conservation. So there's purchasing decisions that you make, behavior decisions that you make, all feed back into our community's greenhouse gas emissions. People that are knowledgeable, which sounds like someone like yourself that takes an interest in this topic, they could play an important role by educating others about the importance of climate change mitigation. We recognizing that there's actually there's connections into climate change that are also tied to even our waste. So when we create waste that's put into a landfill, those emit emissions. So even if you think about using your organic system, that's actually a climate change or composting. That's a climate change mitigation action that can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So it's not. I know a lot of people traditionally think that it's just about burning of fossil fuels, but it does go beyond that. Right down to even planting trees. I know it seems like a fairly simple thing to do, but planting trees not only helps us through carbon sequestration, but it also helps us in climate change adaptation. Are you familiar with that term, this climate change adaptation?
No, that's the first time I'm hearing it, actually.
Okay. So climate change mitigation, which is reducing greenhouse gas emissions, is very important because that's going to help us prevent that 2 degrees Celsius increase that many people are talking about that will result in catastrophic environmental effects globally. So we really want to prevent that, and by doing that, we want to reduce the amount of CO2 that we're putting into the atmosphere or methane that we're putting into the atmosphere. Now, they've been talking about reducing greenhouse gas emissions for a number of years. Right back, one of the earlier accords that was put forward with the Kyoto Protocol back in 1990. So that was over 25 years ago. They've been trying to get people to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. Unfortunately, as a society, we chose not to. So back in 1990, they said if you could reduce your greenhouse gas emissions by 6%, you would be able to offset climate change. We didn't do that as a society and continued to pollute even more. So now we're at a point where we have already set into effect changes in our environment that are unavoidable at this point. Now, we can stop it from getting worse, and we can still be resilient and still work within the environment that we've created for ourselves, but now we have to adapt to that. So we already are starting to experience increased frequency in extreme weather events, prolonged drought, rising temperatures. These are all scientifically proven. And as a result, we have to think about how we as society can adapt to this new reality we're facing. Those are the types of things that climate change adaptation takes into consideration.
All right, so thank you very much for your information. I greatly appreciate it. That was quite a bit of information, and it'll be very useful for me. Thank you so much. You heard it firsthand from the region of Peel about what they're doing to fight climate change and what we, the citizens of the region of Peel, can do to help support it. So just to summarize what Mr. Jeremy Shemry was talking about, the big project that the region of Peel is working on is the co-generator. So if you didn't know, when generating electricity, you are also generating heat that is wasted. The co-generator is the machine that can capture that wasted heat and use it in the region of Peel's boilers. Co-generator also has the ability to capture methane from wastewater and also use it to its advantage so it does not go to waste. And well, that just about concludes my presentation on climate change in Brampton. Now before I end this video, I'd like to give a huge thank you to the region of Peel and Mr. Jeremy Shemry, whose information I'll have around here. If you'd like to talk to him, go ahead, give it a shot. I'd like to give them a very big thank you for allowing me to speak to them about climate change and giving me the information I needed. Thank you so much. Thank you guys also for listening to my presentation, and I hope that you learned a thing or two about climate change in Brampton. Thank you.